No. Okay, so here's this thing that this bothered me for a while. Okay. I'm sorry if you listen to Patreon, you've already heard this, but I want to lay this out. You have a show like Law & Order. Crime is popular entertainment, and it's on network television, so it's going to be your most like bland kind of like setup, network.
Lowest common denominator.
Yeah. And so, but it's going to be like what's picked out, like thought grouped and all this type of stuff for what people like. And there's a joke about how many Law & Orders there are: Law & Order Criminal Intent, Law & Order Major Crimes, Law & Order SVU, all this type of stuff. Law & Order DMV, whatever. There's one of these Law & Orders that has risen far and above. It's the most popular one. The most popular one. And it's Law & Order Special Victims Unit. And the reason why it's called Special Victims Unit is because they don't want to call it its real title, because its real title is Law & Order Sex Crimes. Mm-hmm. And the show, if you've never heard about it or watched it, is about the people going after rapists and pedophiles and just any sexual assault and all that stuff. And the strange thing is that you have this incredibly dark and complex sort of part of human psychology, to just the psyche of these crimes occurring and what it means to the victims and what happens to society with these people in it. All this complex stuff, but it's in this like crazy network, basic cable way, where we wrap it up, it's all syndicated and choreographed in this weird way. But the thing is that people love this show. And I watched the show a lot. I was interested by it. And there's this weird thing where I'm like eating lunch and I'm like enjoying, I'm like, and I'm watching, like, oh, my show's on, I'm watching it, and just, bob my head, having a good time. And meanwhile, the show is just a person on stand talking about how they're molested. Mm-hmm. Like, these crazy moments of like, wait, what am I watching? I'm watching this for entertainment? There's words being used that I don't even realize. As I'm eating cereal, they're talking about like, oh, well, we were able to catch this guy because of the amount of semen found in her. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's weird that we're just watching this. And again, it's like, you can't use the F word, but you can talk about like, oh yeah, semen was found like in her cracked skull. Like this horrific stuff. Oh, God. And like, then you have like side characters, like Ice-T comes on. It's like, yo, man, I'm from the streets.
Great Ice-T impression.
Nailed it. He's in the building.
Got to work on it.
But he comes on, and you have like these quirky things amongst sex crimes, and then you'll have these cases that like, I don't know why there's not cognitive dissonance, where it's just like they caught this rapist guy, and they're like, oh, we're sending you, they're gonna love you. And it's just like, wait, hold on a second though.
We're solving rape with rape.
Yeah, we're like, God, we got the rapist. You're so evil, and we're glad we got you because you're so evil. You know what we're going to do to you because you're so evil? More rape.
It's insane.
It's really weird. And so I just thought, it's crazy that there's this huge popularity with this stuff, and why nobody just goes like, isn't it kind of weird that it's super popular and what we're dealing with is the most heinous of crimes, and just like, we're just like, it's normal that's on TV, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think there's some ideological maintenance for the American judicial system going on there.
Too many syllables.
My mom used to watch the show Cops.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, we see that the ideological function of a show like Cops, which is to present police as good, necessary force in a, scary, threatening society. And it's like, watch the cops go and fuck up people that are traumatized and are poor and, have no resources and everything, and humanize the cops but dehumanize their victims. That plays an ideological role. But there's just also this deep human interest in the darkest corners of human nature and society. I mean, the true crime boom of the last 10 years or so, that is that can be seen as sort of a continuation of this underlying thread. And I do think there's just something human about the fascination about being able to watch the deepest, darkest depravities from a distance, right? Where you're safe and you can engage in the spectacle of these crimes without being implicated in them as the victim or anything else. So there's something psychological going on there. And then I also think there's an element, and this is true in my own life, where there is a sort of cognitive cathartic release when you see, I don't know if it's suffering, but other people having it way worse than you. Because we all have our own struggles. And then to see people be more fucked up than us in some way, or the victims of worse injustices, it kind of helps orient and situate our sufferings in a way. Like, I literally will find myself, when I'm going through really difficult times, becoming morbidly interested in people with, incredibly severe illnesses, being paralyzed. And I got into this little phase of watching My 600-Pound Life.
Oh, yeah, that's weird, too.
And it's never in this conscious judgmental way, or never like, I'm going to go watch these extra fucked up people so I feel less fucked up. It just sort of undercurrently plays that role. And the fact that I am like subconsciously gravitating towards this material as I'm suffering, and then I look within myself and I realize there is some relief coming from this. Like, it puts my problems in perspective and makes me feel better about them, I was like, at least I'm not dealing with that. At least things aren't that bad for me.
Right.
And that sort of happens subconsciously. It's not a fully conscious process.
Because it's weird. One of the most popular shows amongst addicts and alcoholics is Intervention.
There you go.
You're just watching this thing that they have. You should be like, oh, I don't want to watch this because I have this too, and that doesn't make me feel good. But it's like, but they show it's always harrowing. It's like, it's nice to see that they're super fucking up.
Yeah.
Like,
I watch documentaries of people with more severe OCD.
Yeah, I watch. I mean, I don't know. I had another thought too about it. Is that I also think, especially when it comes to the crime stuff, and especially the sex crime stuff, is that we don't want to acknowledge that the thing that is very disturbing about sexual crimes is that they are not creepos in alleys and guys in like this small apartment like playing with a knife and being just a weird weirdo. He's a janitor at a movie theater and he's just shaping the shadows. They're usually friends of family, uncles. They're usually under the influence. They're usually not fully predators in that sense. They do a predatory thing, and that's weird to us.
Often a victim themselves in their own childhoods.
That's another. Yeah, that's the one thing I remember watching SVU is that they would touch on that, and it would just be like, "No, never mind. That's stupid to do." And they would like completely go against it and be like, "Why'd you even bring it up in the first place?"
Because that undermines the judicial system, which is based on punishment.
Oh,
if we start seeing even the worst criminals as in part victims themselves, it undermines the American judicial system that is premised on punishment.
It's funny because I remember one episode they would reveal that I was a victim myself, man. And then it would be like, oh, that's crazy to bring up to the audience because like, what, do you have sympathy for this bad guy now? But then they revealed that like, oh, he's also evil because he did this other thing. Like they had to make him more evil,
extra evil. Yeah.
So my point was that I think it's also comforting to watch because it's nice to think of evil people as A, easy to see, B, as it's black and white. There are good people and there are bad people. We do not like to think of a lot of people are really flawed and it's really gray and that heaven and hell would be immoral because how would you ever parse it out? It's nice to compartmentalize people in this way. And also that you would be protected if you just had your head on straight. Because a lot of like the things that happen is even though it doesn't say it consciously or it doesn't say it like overtly, when the crimes occur and how they occur, they're either just like in this. It's always in New York in this big city chance, and it's this guy in the shadows. So these people that watch it that are from the Midwest or in the suburbs are not in those cities, or it's this messed up crime where this kid was like picked out. And it's very obvious, or the woman was picked out and it's very obvious. So you could see it from a mile away. And I think that also brings comfort to people where it's like, it's very procedural. That was the word I was looking for. Very procedural, very cookie cutter. And so it brings comfort because it's like, one of the scariest things to people is that really bad stuff happens to us just from out of nowhere. And so it's nice to see a show that's so formulaic, and it's just like, oh, I could see all the pieces. I could guess who the bad guy was. I could do all this stuff. I could see these horrific things. So in a weird way, it ingrains in you is like, so because I can see that, it's not going to happen to me.
And to your point, I haven't watched these shows in any deep way, but we've all watched episodes. The bad guy's always caught in the end.
Yes.
Right? There's always a middle part where it's like, we're not sure, and then we got the wrong guy. But then it's always rectified in the end, and the bad guy is ultimately caught. And that also adds to the psychological relief and the ideological maintenance of the American justice system, which subconsciously programs people to think this system is good as it is. It does ultimately catch the bad guys. And then all the other things you said about the stark duality between good and evil. Those are bad people. These are good people. And the truth is, as Viktor Frankl in his famous book, Man's Search for Meaning, which I highly recommend, says famously, is that the line of between good and evil cuts down the center of every human's heart. That we all have within us the full possible spectrum of human nature. I could right now pick up a blunt force object and bash your brains in, and I just might.
I could pick up a blunt.
Nice.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're going to need it after the head trauma I'm about to give you.
Damn.
But you know,
give me head.
But that full spectrum, we've all done shitty things.
Yeah.
We've all lied. We've all fucked people over. We haven't done hardcore insane crimes, hopefully.
I have.
Okay, he has. But yeah, so you're right. There's the ambiguity of reality, the fact that most crimes aren't solved, you know, the fact that the evil people are in your own family, they're not in the shadows of a big scary city. All of those complexities get wrinkled out into what ultimately is a nice, clean-cut story that we can advance that kind of serves those psychological relief mechanisms and serves to maintain, psychologically in the people's minds, the system as a fundamentally good system. Flawed, imperfect, but ultimately those are the good guys.
Ooh, and I think another good thing about it is that, yes, I think it's because the darker you go and the more you simplify the darkness, the more comforting it is.
Yes.
So it's like, the darker the element is, and the more you make it nerfed up, even better. Because it's like, it's one thing to like nerf up mafia crimes or something like that, but like this stuff that really stirs at the soul, like who could victimize a child? Yeah. Oh, thank God we're like putting cushions around that.
Right.
Yeah, because it just
so you crank up the darkness to the extreme, and then you crank up the simplicity of the division.